Go back over to Bill Jones now for a deeper look at sports.
Yes, Dan, the Cowboys kick off their official organized team activities at the Star this week. They do so without Des Bryant and Jason Witten. The Des departure was predicted by some, but not even a month ago could Jason Witten have forecast this, that the Cowboys' all-time Ironman and receptions leader would have hung up his helmet and exchanged it for a Monday Night Football headset by the time he hosted his annual youth football camp at Justin Northwest High School this weekend.
Cover. Oh, nice game. Good job, man. Good job, brother. Hey, Longhorn.
Well, this is your life. You're coaching your kids, you got a microphone on, and you're talking ball.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
I think I got to get pretty comfortable in this role, but right now it seems like I'm having a lot of fun and enjoying it, and you know, it's bittersweet for sure because I know Sunday afternoons in October there'll be a big part of me that's going to be emotionally tied to the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, take us back to draft week and when you got the offer. When was that moment that you said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this?
You know, I visited with them Thursday night, the night of the draft, over at the stadium, some of the executive team at ESPN, and then I spoke to Jerry the next day, and I had constant communication with him, and certainly I wanted his blessing and his viewpoint on it, and then I said, just get me through the weekend. And I got to the edge of the cliff many times, Bill, I just couldn't jump, you know, and I was so tied to that football team and what we were doing around there. And you know, I said in my retirement speech, I don't know that any man really knows when it's his time, but certainly I knew what this opportunity was and where I am in my career at that point in time.
So how tough was it the Monday after the draft for this generation's Mr. Cowboy not to show up for a workout for the first time in 15 years?
Well, it was really tough. It was the hardest thing that I've ever gone through. And, you know, taking that 3 or 4 days and not going to the workouts. And really and truly, the hardest thing for me in that press conference was looking at those teammates that had such a shared commitment to me. And if I could play it on 45, I'd play it on 45. You know, I would love to do that. But I think a lot of that goes into the standard you expect to play at. And can you do it? Can you do it consistently? And if you can't, like the old Parcells saying, it's time to get off the train.
What was it like arriving at the Star that day with your family and your teammates and coaches greet you at the front door and then walking down that hallway?
It was incredible. It was overwhelming. You know, Charlotte and the Jones family, I mean, that's the only way they know how to do things is first class. But for the commitment and I think the spirit of it all, I mean, there was so many great conversations and tears and laughs that I had with so many people, not only teammates and coaches, but just, you know, front office guys, John in the mailroom, the secretaries that I've gotten to know, cafeteria staff that I built relationships with over the last 15 years. So that was kind of a recap for me. It was a very emotional time.
You go back 15 years ago, you're a 20-year-old on that airport shuttle with Tony Romo, and here you two are the #1 analyst at major networks.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's been a remarkable ride. You know, the only thing that we have to look at is that and say, what if, in the entire process, from our personal life to professionally to on the field, the only thing is that we'll ever look at and say, we wish we could have had was a chance to win a championship. Hey, look, it happens. And, you know, knowing that the way I approached it and went about it, it reassures me that, you know, I made the right decision with where I'm at, and unbelievable 15 years for the greatest franchise in all sports.
Heads up for the fade inside to 16.
Here's the pass to the end zone, and it is 16.
Having watched Tony go through the broadcast part of it, his rookie year, and having so much success, how much does that make it even give you confidence that you can make that same transition?
Well, it gives me a lot of confidence. I mean, you have to be yourself. And Tony's always had that personality. You know, the forecasting and the energy, I think you have to be who you are. I mean, you can't try to go on air and try to be scripted or be a different personality. And so with that, I got to get comfortable with who I am. I have a lot of confidence because I know how quickly my mind's been able to break down the game. And if you ask coaches, they would say that's his greatest strength. And so to see it on air and kind of predict, that's, you know, that's a tricky deal at times, but I do think that that's something I can get a lot of confidence with my football knowledge and coming right off the field into the booth. But, you know, having to say something in 8 seconds and communicate that, I mean, there's going to be challenges and That's why I'm started this boot camp in the media. So if you got any lessons after we're done here, I'd love to swing by, Bill.
So how much work is it going to be just leading up to your first broadcast in September?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work. You know, I mean, the team's new with Joe and Booger. So everybody's anxious to get started. We want to call games. I just want to get live reps. So our goal is to get 20 games in before we actually go on September 10th at the Black Hole. So a lot of work to do. I know I have a lot to learn, but I am excited to do it and really excited to spend time with my family as well.
All right, one last question. Back in December, there were rumors that Jason Witten might become the head coach at the University of Tennessee. Was there any truth to that? Was there any talks at all between you and Tennessee?
I don't think that you could ever say that it was serious, but I did speak with him. I was so locked in on playing that my conversations were happening fast, and I didn't have many of them. And I certainly wasn't going to leave in the middle of the season. But look, I think that's something I see in my future, you know, but just one step at a time. I mean, I would love to coach. I love being around the game, and but I'm all in with where I'm at right now, you know, and this opportunity that's presented to me, and it's a transition, but I'm going to attack it the same way I've attacked it my entire life, and I'm sure I'll fail a lot, and I think a lot of people probably would think I won't be worth a wet rag, but, you know, that's happened for a long time, you know, and I'll embrace it, and I'm excited to go about it, and just I've enjoyed this last month because there's so many great memories over the last 15 years, and it's bittersweet in a lot of ways, but I'm excited to join the Monday Night Football team and call it from that side of the booth.
Jason says he sees coaching in his future somewhere down the road. Could he go from Monday Night Football to head coach at his alma mater, Tennessee? I wouldn't be surprised if someday he's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. But then he'd have to deal with stuff like this. Terrence Williams arrested early yesterday morning for public intoxication. In a statement, Williams says he was arrested without a sobriety test. His attorney saying he did not hit a light pole with his Lamborghini, and his arrest was unrelated to a traffic accident. A look at the Cowboys' leading receivers last season, led by Dez Bryant, followed by Williams, Witten, Bryce Butler, and Cole Beasley. And it's been a rather eventful offseason for those receivers. Dez released, Williams arrested, Witten retires, Butler signs as a free agent with Arizona, and of course Beasley in the news with the release of his hit rap album.